Next segment we are moving on to is our featured location in the United States. And this was very popular last month. We actually did it on Ohio, which is where our offices are based. And I'm joined by my colleague today, our director of marketing, Kelly. And she is going to share some information about the state of Indiana. And so make sure you're posting your comments in the chat. I know there's probably interest in a lot of different states, so feel free to post states that you are interested in hearing more about. Maybe we'll get to them in one of our upcoming segments, and we'll continue to go through and try to answer your questions about life in the United States. So without further ado, Kelly, would you like to get started?
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm very happy to be here. Today, we're going to spend some time going over Indiana. So we decided to play a little fun game. We are going to test your geography skills here. So go ahead and put into the chat where you guys think Indiana is. Is it quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Oh, Felizardo is going to Indiana. That's exciting. Let's see here. Janice guesses 2. That is correct.
Yes.
That's the only guess we've got so far. Okay.
And then now moving on, it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't think it's 4.
Probably not.
I don't think I see a correct guess yet. It's actually number 3. Yep. Thank you, ML.
ML got it.
There it is. That's Indiana on the map for you guys. Indiana is a Midwest state, and it's a region known for its friendly communities and strong work ethic. It's a central location in the United States, and it's often called the crossroads of America. I wanted to highlight a few nearby cities or states. So Indiana is a centrally located state, so it's nearby Ohio, which Erica mentioned is where we are all located. It's also near Illinois and Michigan. And then to the south, we have Kentucky. So it's really greatly centered, like the Crossroads of America is the nickname. So that's a little bit about Indiana's location. Let's dive right into the climate. So Indiana is one of those states that gets to experience all 4 seasons. So starting up, we've got winter. Winter runs from December through February. And during this season, the average temperatures range from 20 degrees Fahrenheit to around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or that would be anywhere from -6 Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Then let's see. So in the winter time, Indiana does experience moderate snowfall, especially in the northern parts closer to Lake Michigan. So you'll definitely see some lake effect snow. And if you do plan on going to Indiana, make sure you're prepared with warm clothes and sturdy boots. Winter in Indiana is also a great time to enjoy some outdoor activities like sledding and ice skating. And just like Ohio, the winters here aren't as extreme as they are in the northern states. So you don't have to worry too much about the cold. Okay, moving on. After winter, we have the beautiful spring, which is from March to May. So the temperatures really start to warm up during the springtime. The temperatures can range anywhere from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 65 degrees. And spring in Indiana is absolutely beautiful with blooming flowers and budding trees, especially in areas like Brown County State Park. It's definitely a perfect time to get outside, go hiking, visit some local markets, or attend some spring festivals. And don't forget your umbrella. Just like Ohio, it can definitely get rainy at times during the spring. So that's what we have going on in springtime. If you guys have any questions, feel free to add them to the chat and we will answer them as we go. Coming up next, we have summer, which is from June to August. And we definitely start to warm up a lot more in the summertime. Temperatures can get as high as around 85 degrees, sometimes a little bit higher. And summers in Indiana can get pretty hot and humid, particularly in July and August. So you'll definitely want to have sunscreen and make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And if you like to spend your time outdoors, you could, spend it visiting lakes. There's lots of outdoor concerts. I know I've been to a concert in Indianapolis once. Beautiful city. So there's lots of things to do. And then lastly, we have fall, which is from September through November. And the temperatures range anywhere from around 45 degrees to as high as 65 degrees. And you'll definitely see a ton of vibrant colors during the fall time in Indiana, much like you will across the Midwest. So it's a really beautiful time of the year. There's lots of activities around Thanksgiving or Halloween. You know, there's pumpkin patches, apple picking, hay rides, and fall festivals. Very similar to Ohio, a lot of the Midwestern states have a lot of these things in common. I see Mati is curious about Evansville, so we will touch on that a little bit later when we talk about some of the nearby cities. So just to wrap up, Indiana does offer the full experience of all 4 seasons, from snowy winters to hot summers and everything in between. So compared to states like California, where the seasons are less defined, or New York, where winters can be much harsher, Indiana provides a nice balanced climate that's perfect for enjoying outdoor activities year-round. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so
Gladys, we're going to keep trying. I see you say that this has been lifting your morale and that you would like it done quarterly. We're actually going to try to do this monthly. That is our goal. So this is our second one. We did one last month, and this is our second one. Thank you for the feedback on that.
Yes, thank you, Gladys. Okay, so moving on to the culture and lifestyle of Indiana. You can see on the screen here, we have a photo of the Indiana State Fair, which takes place in Wayne, Indiana. Let's talk about the Midwestern hospitality. People here are known for being friendly, welcoming, and down to earth. So whether you're living in a city like Indianapolis or a quiet small town, Hoosiers, I think I'm saying that right, Erica? The Hoosiers?
Hoosiers, yeah.
Hoosiers, okay. As Indiana residents are called, or as they call themselves, they're always ready to help out or share a friendly conversation with a stranger. In Indiana, there is a strong sense of community, and that makes Indiana feel like home, especially for newcomers.
People are very friendly there. It's that classic, like, Midwestern hospitality.
Exactly. Yep. And Indiana also has a rich cultural heritage that comes alive through the state fairs, local festivals, and a deep connection to racing. So the Indiana is known for the Indy 500, which is a motor speedway venue where they host different races. I don't know a ton about it, but I know that there are a ton of race enthusiasts out there. So this is a great place to visit if you aren't planning on living here. This is a really great attraction for families and people of all ages. So Indiana is becoming increasingly diverse, particularly in cities like Indianapolis, which is home to a growing number of immigrant communities and multicultural neighborhoods. The city hosts a variety of international food and cultural fests throughout the year, celebrating their diversity. And this blend of cultures enriches Indiana's local communities and makes it welcoming places for people from all backgrounds. Indiana is also known for their work-life balance. So here you can see a family, hiking through one of our national parks. Compared to cities like New York or Los Angeles that might be a bit higher paced, Indiana's slower pace of life makes it easier to focus on what matters most. If to you that means spending quality time with family, enjoying nature, and pursuing your personal interests, then Indiana really is a great place for you. Also, the state's affordability means that it has less of a financial stress on you. So it really allows our professionals to enjoy their downtime and explore everything that the state has to offer. So to sum it up with the culture, Indiana is built on community, tradition, and diversity. There's endless opportunities to enjoy life beyond just work. So whether you're meeting up with new neighbors or attending a festival, Indiana really has something for everybody. All right, so moving on to the next section here, I wanted to cover some of the attractions. So this here pictured is Indiana Dunes National Park. It is on the southern shore of Lake Michigan, so it's more north, and it's a perfect place for hiking, bird watching, or relaxing on the beach. And yes, there are beaches in Indiana, despite not being by the ocean. The dunes offer stunning views, and the park is a favorite for both locals and out-of-town visitors. Another nature attraction in Indiana is Brown County State Park. And this is known as the Little Smokies. This park offers some of the most breathtaking foliage in the region. It's ideal for hiking, mountain biking, or just simply enjoying the scenic views. And then there's also Potato Lake, or I'm sorry, Passacoda Lake.
It does look like potato at first glance.
Yes, it does. This is a hot spot for boating, fishing, and camping. It's also a great place to spend a summer weekend, unwinding with your friends and family. Lots of outdoor activities here in the state of Indiana. And then we did mention it already, but I wanted to talk about it just a little bit more. The motorsports Indianapolis is home to the motorsports in the United States. So the Indy 500 is a world famous attraction. It draws in fans from all over the world. And if you're in Indiana during race season, you can attend the Indy 500. It's a must see. It's definitely a fun-filled family experience, filled with speed, excitement, and tradition. So I think that really captures the essence of Indianapolis in this photo right here. A couple of other fun outdoor things that you could do in Indiana. Here is the Holiday World and Splash and Safari. It's located in Santa Claus, Indiana, which I learned recently that Santa Claus, Indiana was a place, which is really cool. So this is an amusement park. It's a water park, and they have roller coasters. This is a great place for families, children, pretty much anybody. And then, to sum that up, let's see. Actually, moving on, we have some sports. So I don't know how many sports fans we have on the webinar today, but Indianapolis has the Colts, which is their National Football League team. And they also have a few of other sports teams. They've got the Indiana Pacers for basketball. So whether you enjoy watching games live in the stadium, or you just want to cheer from home or go to a local restaurant, there's definitely a lot to do for our sports fanatics out there. And then as far as arts and cultural goes, Indiana has one of the most unique events called the Symphony on the Prairie at Connor Prairie, which is located in Fishers, Indiana. They feature live orchestral performances under the open sky. It's a perfect mix of culture and relaxation. And then one other highlight is the Edelgeorge Museum. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I thought I had a photo of it, but I didn't add that. This is a museum that showcases the art, history, and the culture of the Native Americans and the American West. So that's another fascinating place that you can visit to learn all about Indiana's diverse heritage. Okay, so let's move on to the cost of living.
Yeah, I've seen some comments here. Ariel wants to know about the cost of living, housing, and apartments.
Perfect. Well, we will cover that. So this is going to be a big factor in helping you decide where you want to live, which is the cost of living. And one of the reasons Indiana is such a great option for healthcare professionals is that its affordability. So especially compared to some places maybe like New York, the affordability in Indiana is much lower. So we covered this last month, but the cost of living index is the relative number that each state is assigned. So you can see 100 would be the national average, and Indiana comes in at 82, which is 18% cheaper than the national average. We like to pull in New York and California just for comparison to help our candidates kind of see the contrast between some of the Midwestern states and some of the more well-known states like New York and California. So you can see here the cost of living in both of those states is significantly higher. In terms of housing, so a one-bedroom apartment to rent on average is going to cost you around $900 a month in Indiana, which is pretty good. It's slightly lower than what we had for Ohio. And that's compared to around $3,500 a month in New York, or similarly around $3,300 a month in California.
That is crazy. I think that there should be like, I don't know, like confetti here, because that's insane, the difference in the rent from state to state, Kelly.
Yeah, and when it comes to groceries, Indiana also shines. So a gallon of milk is going to cost you around $2.40, and it's almost double that in New York and California. And then eggs is a similar story. So eggs are going to cost you, for a carton of 12 eggs, will be about $1.90 on average in Indiana. And then for transportation, unless you have an electric vehicle, you're going to have to fill up your gas with or your car with some gasoline. In Indiana, that's going to cost you around an average of $3.10 a gallon. And in New York, it will be closer to $3.90. And then in California, they are about $5 a gallon.
Amazing. They get a blue ribbon for the cost of living index.
They do. They certainly do. And then as far as, just wrapping up, well, I guess the last little category here is transportation. So if you do need to rely on public transportation, you can expect that to cost anywhere around like $50 a month. But I think that's going to be pretty tailored to what your specific usage is or what you need. But anywhere in Indiana, you can expect to pay maybe around $50 a month to utilize those bus and other public services. So to wrap it up, Indiana is really affordable, especially when comparing to New York or California. And much like the other Midwestern states, it's a really great place to live, and you'll get a lot more bang for your buck in Indiana. Oh, and then I did actually want to share with you. So I know we get a ton of questions for different cities or states. And so one of the resources that we recently released, which is now available on our website, is our location catalog, or the location profiles. So I grabbed a quick screen recording to share with you guys how to access these location guides. You can just visit our website, passportusa.com, and then click on resources and locations. And then from here, you can use the search feature, or you can just start browsing. And here you can see I searched Indiana. And so I think most of the cities that are available, depending on, like, you'll have to talk with your current assignee to see where we currently have job orders. But you can see I'm able to locate Indianapolis, and we have a dedicated page for Indianapolis to share with you everything about an overview of the city, the cost of living, weather, transportation, attractions, and then the schools. So this is what I wanted to highlight specifically here. This state has, or this city specifically, has a ton of really great public schools, which is going to be a really important factor for those of you with children. And then we also kind of highlight some of the community aspects of each city. So Indianapolis specifically, which is the capital of Indiana, has access to a lot of outdoor activities. They get an A- for that. Access to parks, which I think we all discovered with the photos and the information I just shared. They also have a great nightlife, if that's something that you're interested in. It's okay for retirees. It's a great place for young professionals. It's a great place for families, and then they get an A+ for diversity. So that's a really great, aspect of Indiana, and something that you could look into when you're doing your research on the different locations that you could potentially relocate to. So again, that's under our main website. If you just go to passportusa.com and then click on the resources tab and then locations. So that was all I had, Erica. So I wanted to, I'm here to answer any questions, but yeah.